Hello everyone, here on this part we have three-dimensional coordinate systems. So on this part we have the Cartesian coordinate system, and this is right-handed. On this part we have x, y, and here we have y, z. On this part we have xz. So on this part that we have xz plane, y is 0, and this part that we have xy, z is 0, and finally on this part that we have yz, x is 0. So this is what we have for x-axis, and that is x, 0, 0. So this is y and this is z. And on this part we have z-axis in here. In this case, x is 0, y is 0, and here is z. And finally on this part, here we have y-axis, and in this case, x is 0 and z is 0. And on this part we have this point, and our point is x, y, z. Here again we have this coordinate system, x, y, z. The plane x equal to 0, y equal to 0, and z equal to 0 divide space into 8 octants. So here in the center we have origin, and that is x0, y0, and z0. So here we have 0, 0, 0. Here this green part, this one, this is what we have for yz plane, and in this case x is 0. And here this blue one, this is for xy plane, and in this case z is 0. And finally this part, which is this one here, this is for xz plane, and this part y is equal to 0. So this part we have planes x equal to 2, y equal to 3, and z equal to 5. Determine 3 lines through the point 2, 3, 5. So this is the point that we have. So there's 2, 3, 5, and we have these 3 lines that crossing this point. The first one that we have here, our line, this is for y equal to 3 and z is equal to 5. And this plane, so this one here, this one in blue, this is for z equal to 5. And this is what we have for z. In this case, x is 0 and y is 0. And this line here, this is for x equal to 2 and z equal to 5. And here we have plane y equal to 3. So this is the point that we have for y equal to 3, x is 0, and z is 0. And finally, the third line that crossing this point, it is this line, and that is x equal to 2, y equal to 3. And the plane that we have here, this green one, this one here, this is for x equal to 2, which is this point. So x equal to 2, and on this part y is 0 and z is 0. So this is plane x equal to 2. Now here on this part we have examples. We interpret these equations and inequality geometrically. The first one that we have here, it is z greater than or equal to 0. This means you have space consisting of the points on and above xy plane. Here, part B, x equal to -3. So this is the plane, and that is perpendicular to x-axis when x is equal to -3. And this plane lies parallel to yz plane, and that's 3 units behind it. Part C, here on this part we have z0, x is less than or equal to 0, and y greater than or equal to 0. So in this case, the second quadrant of the xy plane. So this is what we have here. So this is second quadrant of xy. Part D, so all of these x, y, z are greater than or equal to 0. So this is what we have for our first octant. Part E, y is between -1 and +1 inclusive. So this is the slab between the planes y equal to -1 and y equal to +1, and planes included. Finally, y equal to -2 and z equal to +2. This is the line in which the planes y equal to -2 and z equal to +2 intersect. And the line through the point 0, -2, +2 is parallel to the x-axis. Now this part we have distance and separating space. So finding distance between these 2 points, P1 and P2. For P1 we have x1, y1, z1, and for P2 we have x2, y2, z2. So the distance between these 2 points is equal to square root of finding the distance between each one of these variables. So x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared plus z2 minus z1 squared. Here, example, find distance between P1 and P2. So P1 is 2, 1, 5. Here, x is 2, y is 1, and z is 5. That is for P1. And here, for P2, x is -2, and y is 3, and z is 0. Now finding distance between P1 and P2, it is equal to square root of x2 is -2, so -2 minus x1 is +2, and then square plus y2 minus y1, so that's 3 minus 1 squared plus z2 minus z1, so here we have 0 minus 5 squared, and this is equal to square root of, so here we have -4 squared, it is +16. 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 squared, it is 4. -5 squared, it is equal to 25. And this is equal to square root of 16 plus 4 plus 25, it is equal to 45. So the square root of 45, I rounded to 3 decimal place, our answer is 6.708. Now here on this part we have a superior and radius is A, that is centered at this point, x0, y0, z0. So here on this part we have this point, where point is x, y, z. Here is center. Here is our radius. So the standard equation for the superior of radius A and center x0, y0, z0. So this is what we have here. This is our center. Is in this form x minus x0 squared plus y minus y0 squared plus z minus z0 squared equal to a squared. And based on what we had here on this part, now we're trying to find what is a or what is our radius. So square root of both sides, square root of left side equal to square root of what I have on right side. So here we have square root of a squared. This is equal to a. This is our radius. Example, find center and radius of the sphere. Here we have x squared plus y squared plus z squared plus 3x minus 4z plus 1 equal to 0. So on this part, complete the squares on the x, y, and z terms, and write each quadratic as a squared linear expression. So for this part, we have x squared plus 3x, and then we have plus what we have in y term, it is y squared. And for z, we have z squared minus 4z. So plus z squared minus 4z. I'm going to move this one to the right side. So that's equal to -1. And now complete squares. So here for x's, we have x squared plus 3x, and then use what we have here, that is 3 divided by 2, so divide by 2 and then square. This is what we have for this part. And for y terms, this part, it is complete. So our square is complete because here on this part, what they have after, this is 0 times y. And to find what they have for constant, so this part is 0 divided by 2 squared. So it is 0, that's why we're not writing it. So that's y squared plus 0 plus 0. And for z terms, complete square, it is z squared minus 4z. And then for constant, here we have, this part is -4. So use that number. -4 divided by 2 squared. So this is equal to, on right side we have -1. So on left side I added this part, I added this part. I should do the same thing on right side. So here on right side add 3/2 squared plus -4/2 squared. So what I have for this part is x plus, so using the number that we have here, 3/2, then square plus y squared plus z, and the number that we have here is -4 divided by 2, so that is -2. So -2 squared, it is equal to, on right side we have -1 plus 3/2 squared, it is 9/4. Plus we have -4 divided by 2 squared, so that is -2 squared, it is +4. So I added all these that I have on right side. So here we have -4 plus 9 plus 16 divided by 4, and that is equal to 21/4. Now next part, based on what I have here, I'm trying to find center and radius. So square root of x plus 3 over 2 squared plus y squared plus z minus 2 squared. So square root of what we have on left side equal to square root of what we have on right side. So on this part, I'm trying to have x minus x naught and y minus y naught, z minus z naught to be able to find what we have for center. And that is based on what we had here. So here we had subtraction. So square root of x minus negative 3 divided by 2 squared plus y squared plus z minus 2 squared, it is equal to square root of 21 over 4. And that is equal to square root of 21 divided by 2. So our center is this point. We have negative 3 divided by 2, comma, what we have here is y minus 0 squared. So y naught is 0. And here on this part we have 2. And radius is what I have on the right side, which is square root of 21 divided by 2.